Here is the script in English, drawing from the sources to highlight the bravery of Sher Ali Khan and the harsh reality of British economic exploitation. Script: The Lion of Tirah and the Great British Loot Scene. Sound of heavy chains clinking and waves crashing against the stone walls of Cellular Jail. Narrator: Freedom is a word often taken for granted, but its price was paid in blood, hunger, and the dark cells of Kala Pani. The British built the Cellular Jail in 1906, not just as a prison, but as a factory of torture to break the spirit of those who dared to dream of an independent India. Music: shift to a darker, more somber tone. The economic destruction. Before the British arrived, India was a global powerhouse, holding a 23% share of the world's economy. By the time they left in 1947, that share had been looted and reduced to less than 4%. They systematically destroyed India's legendary weaving industry to fuel their own industrial revolution. The railways they claim as a gift were actually tools designed to accelerate the extraction of India's resources and the movement of their troops. The hell of Kala Pani. Inside the walls of Cellular Jail, prisoners were kept in 7 5-foot cells, solitary confinement meant to induce madness. While the British civilizers enjoyed luxuries, they fed the prisoners boiled wild grass. These brave souls were forced to work 12 hours a day at oil mills, extracting coconut oil until their throats were parched, yet they were allowed only a few spoons of water. If they failed their targets, they were brutally whipped or hung in the air for hours. Music shifts to an epic, heroic rhythm. The hero, Sher Ali Khan, among these prisoners was a man of steel from the Tirah Valley, a Pathan named Sher Ali Khan, wrongfully convicted and sent to these islands for life. He did not break. He sharpened a razor for months, waiting for a target whose death would echo across the world. The assassination of Lord Mayo, 1872. In February 1872, the Viceroy of India, Lord Mayo, arrived to inspect the island. Despite the security, Sher Ali Khan hid behind a carriage, and as the Viceroy passed, he struck with a single fatal blow to the neck. The most powerful representative of the British Crown fell. When Sher Ali Khan was later led to the gallows, he did not flinch. He kissed the noose and embraced death with a smile. The legacy: the British looted billions, fueled famines that killed millions, including the 1943 Bengal famine, and treated humans worse than animals. But heroes like Sher Ali Khan and the thousands of nameless martyrs in Kala Pani proved that no amount of torture or wild grass could starve the soul's hunger for liberty. Final note: visual of the Cellular Jail as a milestone of freedom. Narrator: Today, the bricks of Cellular Jail stand as a testament to the brutality of the colonizers and the unbreakable will of the Lion of Tirah. Voice-over fades out with the slogan, "Long live liberty! Long live Sher Ali Khan!" History often forgets the names of those who stood tallest in the face of tyranny. In the dark annals of the British Raj, one name shines with the fire of defiance: Sher Ali Khan, a brave Pathan from the Tirah Valley, what is now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in Pakistan. He was a man of honor whose spirit could not be shackled, not even by the walls of the most dreaded prison on earth, Kala Pani. His story is not just one of revenge. It's a story of justice against an empire built on shadows and theft. To understand Sher Ali's act, we must first understand the crime. The British Empire wore a mask of civilization, but beneath it was a machine of unprecedented economic plunder. Before their arrival, the Indian subcontinent was a global powerhouse, holding a staggering 23% share of the world economy. After 2 centuries of colonial rule, by the time they left in 1947, that share had been systematically bled dry to less than 4%. This wasn't a natural decline. It was a deliberate and calculated destruction. The British Industrial Revolution wasn't just fueled by British ingenuity. It was financed by the de-industrialization of India. Thriving industries, like the world-renowned weaving trade of Bengal, were dismantled. Artisans who once clothed the world were reduced to poverty, their looms silenced forever. They boast about the railways they built, presenting them as a gift to India, but let's be clear, this network was not for the Indian people. It was a colonial tool, an iron web designed for one purpose: to accelerate the extraction of our resources. It was built to transport cotton, grain, and minerals from the heartland to the ports, and from there straight to Britain. At the same time, it allowed them to move their troops swiftly across the subcontinent to crush any dissent, any voice that rose for freedom. The railways were the arteries of the colonial beast, pumping India's lifeblood back to the heart of the empire. This was the great loot, a transfer of wealth so immense that its scale is still being calculated today. It was an economic drain that impoverished a nation and enriched an empire. And for those who dared to resist this grand theft, for those who spoke of freedom, the British created a living hell. On the remote Andaman Islands, they constructed the Cellular Jail, infamously known as Kala Pani, or the Black Waters. This was not a prison for ordinary criminals. It was a carefully designed instrument of torture for political prisoners, for the freedom fighters of the subcontinent. The very architecture was meant to break the human spirit. The jail was a series of 7 wings radiating from a central tower, ensuring that no prisoner could ever communicate with another. Complete and total isolation was the goal. Inside tiny, suffocating cells, measuring just 13 by 7 feet, our ancestors were subjected to horrors beyond imagination, while the British officers and their families enjoyed luxurious resorts and clubs on the same island, turning this graveyard of freedom into their tropical paradise. The prisoners were treated as less than human. After 12 hours of grueling, back-breaking labor at the oil mills, turning a massive press under the scorching sun, they were denied even a drop of clean water to quench their thirst. Disease was rampant, medical care was non-existent, and the guards were masters of cruelty. Many patriots lost their minds in the solitary confinement. Others chose to take their own lives rather than endure the daily humiliation. This was the enlightened rule of an empire that today lectures the world on human rights. Kala Pani was the physical manifestation of the empire's hypocrisy. It was in this crucible of suffering that Sher Ali Khan's resolve was forged. Wrongly convicted and exiled to this hell, he witnessed the daily torment of his countrymen. He saw their dignity being stripped away, their bodies broken, their spirits crushed. The injustice fueled a fire within him, a desire not for simple revenge, but for a symbolic strike that would echo through the corridors of power. He didn't want a small target. He wanted to strike at the very head of the beast, the ultimate symbol of British oppression in India, the Viceroy himself. In February 1872, the opportunity arrived. The Viceroy of India, Lord Mayo, decided to visit the Andaman Islands. As he toured the penal colony, basking in the supposed success of his administration, Sher Ali Khan was ready. For months he had been sharpening a barber's razor, hiding it, waiting for the perfect moment. As Lord Mayo's entourage made its way back to the boat at sunset, Sher Ali emerged from the shadows. With the speed and ferocity of a lion, he broke through the security detail. Before anyone could react, he delivered a fatal blow to the pride of the British Empire. The man who ruled over millions, the embodiment of imperial power, fell at the hands of a lone prisoner. The act sent shockwaves across the globe. The British were stunned. How could a single, unarmed man assassinate the most powerful figure in their most prized colony? It was a monumental security failure, but more than that, it was a devastating psychological blow. It proved that their control was not absolute, that even in their most fortified prison, the spirit of resistance could not be extinguished. When Sher Ali Khan was captured and led to the gallows, he did not tremble. He showed no fear, no remorse. He had accomplished his mission. He had sent a message to the world that the people of the subcontinent would not bow down. As the noose was placed around his neck, it is said that he kissed it with a smile. He knew his death was not an end, but a spark. He had proven that no matter how much wealth the empire stole, no matter how many prisons they built, they could never steal the soul of a free man. Sher Ali Khan's story, and the stories of the thousands of unsung martyrs who perished in Kala Pani, remains a powerful testament to the long and arduous struggle for freedom. They are the forgotten heroes whose sacrifices paved the way for the eventual breaking of the chains of 2 centuries of colonial darkness. Their legacy reminds us to never forget the true cost of our freedom. Thank you for watching. If you found this story powerful, please like, share, and subscribe for more chapters from our hidden history.